Hello, everybody. Josh Brown here, back for another great episode on Franchise Euphoria. Well, today's episode is brought to you by IndieFranchiseLaw.com, a leading resource in the franchise space to help you if you're considering buying a franchise, turning your business into a franchise, or growing your business through a licensing or franchise structure. So go on, check it out, IndieFranchiseLaw.com. I think you'll find a lot of valuable and free information as you continue to kind of weigh franchising and licensing and the growth of your business. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy today's episode. Hello, everybody. Josh Brown here. And man, back from the IFA, the International Franchise Association 2020 get together in Orlando, Florida at the Orlando World Marriott. Pretty awesome venue, pretty big venue. There are about 3,700 people at the conference. And, as with most conferences, there's a lot that you can take from them. But so often going in with a strategy and a goal is what will allow you to take the most from them. And so I tend to go to 6 or 7 franchise or franchise related conferences every year. And I always have a goal in mind. And usually it's not around the sessions necessarily, the content. It's more around the people, who's going to be there, people who I've known and seen over the years, meeting new people, trying to learn more about what is the up and coming, aspects in various areas of franchising, combined with, just kind of seeing what trends are going on and what people are thinking about in the franchise world. Because, you get 3,700 people together who are all somehow related or tied to franchising. And that's a lot of energy. So one of the things that I did this year was I took my microphone with me. I got one of those H1N microphones and a pop filter. And I decided I was going to walk around the venue and interview people for the podcast, not really knowing what to expect or who I'd be talking to, but I thought it'd be a lot of fun. And actually it really was. One of the things that I didn't know going into this year, but I was a little surprised at, is just the number of people in the expo hall who were vendors. I mean, there's many, many more vendors, third-party providers for franchise systems than there were actually franchisors at the expo hall. But this episode here today, we're going to be playing here in a couple minutes, different short interviews that I did with a number of the franchise vendors. There are a whole lot of social media, digital marketing companies, a fair amount of artificial intelligence, AI type companies, a good amount of, security data protection companies. And that made up, between the three of those kind of categories, that made up a significant portion of the folks that were there. And it was really kind of enjoyable to go around, talk to them, to learn about the different software that's being created for the franchise space. So if you are a franchisor, if you did not have a chance to make it to the IFA, or if you did have a chance, but like so many people just didn't have the opportunity to make it around to everything, hopefully in this episode, you'll get a little bit of a taste of what the expo floor was like and what some of the different companies that are there and the type of offerings that they have. Maybe it could be beneficial for your franchise system, or maybe it would be worthwhile for you to reach out. But before I jump into that, I want to go over just my top 3 takeaways from IFA. And again, I think if you asked 3 different people, you get three different thoughts on this. But for me, the thing is, in franchising, number 1 takeaway was, man, there's just still so much excitement around franchising and emerging franchise brands. I mean, that is absolutely evident by the people who were at this show and by the type of service providers and services that are being provided to these franchise systems. Number 2, there's a whole lot of businesses that are out there to help franchisors grow, to help them with their sales process, to help them with their operational teams, to help them with their supply chains, to help them with their digital and social media marketing efforts, and to help them with planning for future growth based on AI intelligence, artificial intelligence that actually gives you real data points as opposed to franchisors having to rely on gut feeling or simply looking at one of their previous locations and realizing, oh, this was a good location, so it must work in a similar location. Having the data to support that growth is just so important. And it's already here, these AI companies, but it keeps getting better and better and better. And third, I think in that line is a whole lot of conversation and sessions about how to grow your franchise systems. I think we're seeing in franchising one of the problems that's trending right now are systems that are growing too fast, systems that don't have the operational infrastructure to protect themselves and the franchisees as they grow. And as a result, systems that grow too fast often die quickly as well. So there was some real good content around how you can build out your operational team as you grow so that your sales don't outpace your operations. That is one of the main reasons that franchise systems fail is they grow too fast. Even though most brand new franchisors have this fear that they're not going to grow at all. And that's one of the reasons why they just try to get any franchisee who can come into the system in there. So again, one of the main things from this event and one of the prevailing things just across the board in franchising is that you really got to grow smart. You got to grow slow at the beginning. You got to build your infrastructure. You got to have your team in place to take care of the growth down the road. So hopefully you will enjoy the my interviews with these other vendors from around the IFA Expo floor, and maybe you'll have a chance to reach out and learn more about them. All right, I'm here with some folks from One Huddle at the IFA 2020 franchise conference. I know nothing about One Huddle, but I'm about to find out from three people who work with them. So introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alexa. I'm a VP of Business Development for One Huddle.
Hello, I'm Donna, and I'm the Director of Marketing for One Huddle.
And I'm Cole Milliken, Director of Customer Success at One Huddle.
All right, so somebody tell me what you guys do.
So One Huddle is an employee engagement platform. So imagine everything your employees need to know in games on their phone. So we're mobile first, but we're also desktop and tablet friendly. Basically, we have three main products. We can be used for a number of things, but we've got onboarding, training, and upskilling, and then boosting engagement through firing up your team through competition.
So tell me about that. Tell me about the game. The gaming part's really interesting to me and a little and unique, I think, to you guys. So tell me about it.
Sure, yeah. The science points to that gaming is a better way of learning than, your traditional manuals and sort of courses, that retention drops off after day 30 by 87%. With games, it's not just about reinforcement, it's about really learning, any kind of content fast in quick burst mobile trivia. And that is, the struggle creates the stickiness. And that's really what we do at One Huddle.
So do you work with franchisees, franchisors, or both?
I'm going to let Cole take this, and yes.
Okay, Cole. You work with franchisees and franchisors?
Franchisees and franchisors, yes.
Okay, so walk me through the process. If I'm a franchisor and I'm coming to you and I want a ops manual or a training manual for my franchisees, what's the process you go through?
Sure. So if I'm a franchisor, it's pretty simple. We've been using the Fran Dev space. So if someone comes to us, we have a number of clients who use this for their discovery day. If they're looking to expand and open up in new locations. As far as converting material into games, it's as simple as taking what you have or what you want to have, passing it across the table, and we convert games for you. It's as simple as a 15-day bring up to speed experience. So by the end of 15 days, you should be able to build your own games just as we can. Of course, there's different kind of levels with that process. Some people are quicker than others, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and that's what we aim to be, is pretty seamless.
So how long has One Huddle been around?
Sure. So we opened our doors in 2015.
And who came up with the concept?
Our CEO and founder is Sam Caiucci. He was in the franchising space, actually, which is pretty funny. He was going around in training. We started as specifically a sales tool, trying to teach sales teams how to overcome objections, answer phones, and he realized that there has to be a better way to trainers coming in periodically and kind of doing the same training over and over. What can we use to reinforce some of those tools? And that's what kind of was the seed to One Huddle.
Awesome. Well, so if somebody wants to learn more about One Huddle, where should they go? Who should they contact?
So you can go to our website at onehuddle.co, and that is our website, onehuddle.co.
Anything else we should know about One Huddle before we go?
I would say you can also check us out on our YouTube channel. You'll find a clip from Squawk Box. I almost said that wrong, but I didn't. You'll see Mr. Wonderful talking about One Huddle.
Kevin O'Leary. Okay.
Kevin O'Leary, and many more PR hits there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alexa, Dana, Cole. Thank you guys so much. It's great to meet you. All right, I'm here with Dan Cote, VP of Xpressdocs. Dan, tell me about Xpressdocs. What do you guys do?
Well, Josh, we partner with franchisor brands. There are corporate marketing departments in 3 ways. Number one, we make it super easy for all their franchisees to order all the brand-approved marketing materials, and we do it faster than anybody else. Order today, you can have it tomorrow anywhere in the country for most of our print-on-demand items. Number two, we partner with the national ad campaigns to make those even more effective with highly targeted direct mail programs that are trackable. And then number three, we help drive franchise sales with really unique, innovative products to get the attention of prospective franchisees.
So give me an example of that.
So over here we have a print plus video. So it looks like a bifold
describe
postcard.
this because it's audio.
Yeah, it looks like a bifold postcard. It actually shows up in a FedEx. It has the brand, has all the messaging on it. But whenever you open it up, it auto-plays your video message.
That's pretty awesome.
So the prospective franchisee is guaranteed to see what it is. And a picture says 1,000 words, a video says 10,000 words in a short amount of time. And then we have something called branded covers by Unibind. And so when you have discovery days and you're putting together all the information, instead of stapling that information or wire binding,
you're professionalizing it. It makes it look,
it's binding plus branding. You stick it in here in 90 seconds, it becomes a hardbound book with your brand on it, and it just elevates your brand.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's other brands in the franchise market that do what you guys do.
Yeah.
What would you say makes Xpressdocs stick out the most amongst the competition?
You know, I think it's coming back to supporting the franchisee. We have about 70 people on our technology development team. We're a software company. So we create that experience that's super easy for the franchisee to log in, personalize any marketing material, but then also the fast eat the slow in this new economy, right? Yeah. And so let's say it's a home services franchise brand, and on Monday, a franchisee says, you know what, Wednesday looks pretty good on my calendar. It's going to be a nice day. I want to go put door hangers out in these higher-end neighborhoods. I'm out of door hangers. Well, with us, they can order it by 4 p.m. and have it the next morning.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And it's all within brand compliance. All the tracking is real-time for the corporate brand. Any subsidy, copay is built into the system automatically. Just a super easy experience. And then we take all the inbound questions on behalf of the marketing department for the brand. We have their guidelines, and we care for that for them.
So if somebody wants to learn more about Xpressdocs, where should they go?
Xpressdocs.com /enterprise.
Now that is, just for the audience, Express would be, starts with X, not E. So XPRESSDOCS.com.
That's it.
All right. Well, thanks, Dan, so much. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Josh.
So I'm here with Tim Jaga, who's the Vice President of Business Development for Identifi. How you doing, Tim?
Doing great. Doing great.
We've enjoyed a few drinks together.
Yes, we have.
Nice.
Some Funky Buddha.
Some Funky Buddha beer. So tell me, I'm really curious about this Identifi software and process that you all have created for franchisors. Tell us about that.
What we've done is we've created a franchise sales process that actually starts from the very beginning, the inquiry we provide for you on your website, and takes you through all the processes, including the electronic signatures, all the way to the franchise agreement and sign. And through that process, you have visibility into everything that's going on, who's doing what, when, or who's not doing what, when.
So you essentially take the guesswork out of the sales process for franchisors who are constantly talking with new franchisee prospects, people who are interested, and sometimes people who are just kicking the tires a little bit and you don't want to spend a lot of time maybe focusing your efforts on as a franchisor.
Correct. We take the guesswork out. And then the other thing we do is we actually, you think about the technology gaps if you're using multiple products to accomplish this. If you're sending out emails, you don't know whether the person's responded to the email or not, or has opened it for that, in that matter. So we actually manage that whole process. So yeah, it makes it a lot simpler for them. It makes it easy for them to move those to the side and let those come back later when they need to follow up with them, and then actually focus on the ones that are more important, that actually are more realistic to getting to a sale.
So how did the company Identifi come about? Who came up with the concept?
Oh, Identifi's been around for 33 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it started a long time ago. Alan Wiesner, our CEO and president, started the company in Safety Harbor, Florida. We've always been a document management company originally. And then from there, we expanded into complete workflow and business process improvement.
Well, that's fantastic. And if somebody wants to learn more about Identifi, Tim, where do they go? Who should they contact?
But I think, one, they can always go to our website. It's Identifi, and Identifi is spelled with an I at the end, not a Y. So Identifi, IDENTIFI.net. And then they always can contact me, Tim Jaga, and the best way to reach me is my direct line, 727-286-3456.
Well, thank you, Tim, for sharing a few thoughts about Identifi. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, I'm here at the 2020 IFA Franchise Conference in Orlando, and I'm here right now we've got Robert Cantor and Jordan Morrell from ITI Smart Solutions, and they happen to be in Greenwood, Indiana. Say hi, guys.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
So tell us a little bit about what you do. Obviously, you service the franchise sector, and according to some of your information, it looks like you do a whole lot of different things. Do you focus on franchisees, franchisors, or both?
We actually focus on a lot of different types of businesses, franchisees and franchisors, as well as we do have standalone businesses that aren't in the franchising operation. But what we do for franchises is to provide a full-service IT solution for them from beginning to end, so all the way from computer repair all the way up through custom software and custom websites. So.
And you do this with individual franchisees, or are you working with franchisor companies and then you work with the franchisees through the franchisor companies?
Both. We sometimes work directly with only the franchisees of an organization. Sometimes we work only with the franchisor, and sometimes we work as both. We work with the franchisor directly, and we also support as a overarching company support team to all their franchisees.
So if I'm a burger franchise, a sub franchise, or any other kind of franchise, walk me through how your services could help them in their day-to-day business.
Sure. For the most part, if you have a burger or a Subway type of franchise, you have your POS systems that are in place and supported by the corporate franchisor. But what we provide is the ability to automate a lot of the things that you do every single day over and over again, repetitively. So managing your daily cash deposits and reconciling those with your franchisor corporate staff, as well as automating merchant services. We also are there for, you've got a PC that needs to be repaired. We handle that as well. So, and everything in between.
Well, and obviously there are other competitors out there in the marketplace. What would you say? And I'll ask you, Jordan, since you haven't had a chance to speak yet. But thank you, Robert. You can both chime in on this. But tell me, I guess, each in your own words, what's a differentiator with ITI Smart Solutions from its competition?
Well, our corporate kind of vision, if you will, with dealing with customers simply starts with the fact that we want you to be satisfied with the work that we do for you today, so you want to call us tomorrow. And we apply that logic across all of our services, everything from our phone services through online backup, general support, web hosting, email hosting, even into our custom software and website design. So that's really our overall vision and mantra, if you will, that we want to make sure we provide an excellent service for you today, that tomorrow you say, hey, I want to call those guys back because they were really great to me and my franchise, to my company, to the overall corporate itself. Whatever entity you're a part of, we want to make sure you have that great experience day to day, so you always feel like that's the person I want to call tomorrow, and you don't feel like you're locked in. I have to use that person. We just really enjoy the service they provide.
Robert, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we actually, the one thing I'd add is a lot of our services do not come with an annual or a 3-year contract. We do have some, like our phone systems and our SLA support, our service level agreement support, that do have 1- and 3-year contracts and 2-year contracts. But by and large, if you have online backup with us, we better provide a really good online backup service experience for you this month, because next month there's no guarantee we're going to have you as a customer if we don't do our job right. So we want you to call us tomorrow because you love the service that we gave you today.
I love that. You got to prove it over and over and over again. All right, as we finish up, tell the folks, what is the best way to get a hold of you and find out more information about ITI Smart Solutions?
You can reach us anytime at 317-885-7049, and press extension 1 rings every phone in our building. If somebody's available, they will answer the phone. Or you can email us at team@itismart.com. So,
if you're not local to Indiana, you can reach us at 866-979-1305.
One more time, slower.
Yeah, that's 866-979-1305. Or you can email us at team@itismart.com.
Thank you, gentlemen, so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. All right, I'm here at the IFA Conference 2020 with the legendary Jay Baer, the master of differentiating between your brand, your company, your business. I just have one question for you, unless you want to say hi, Jay.
What's up, Josh? Great to be here. Hello, everybody out there.
So tell me, out of all of the books that you've written, all the copies that you've sold, your blog, Convince and Convert, which I think is the #1 digital marketing blog in the world, what is the #1 thing that franchise brands need to do to differentiate themselves amongst their competitors?
Well, I think having a story to tell is the most important thing you can do, because the best way to grow any business is for your customers to grow it for you. Now, I wrote a book about customer service called Hug Your Haters, and obviously being great at customer service is incredibly important for all franchise organizations. But at some level, that's table stakes, right? Like, if you're not great at customer service, eventually you're not going to be in business. That's just how business works. But this idea that I've been talking about over the last year or so of differentiation and creating word of mouth, we call it talk triggers, is super important, because in almost any case, whatever franchise business you're in, somebody else is doing the same thing or pretty similar, right? So you have to stand out, and typically standing out with products or pricing is almost impossible over the long haul. So you have to do something slightly different in the operations of your business that customers then notice and tell stories about.
You've got a new book, Talk Triggers. Where can people learn more about you, learn about your book, learn about your numerous businesses?
So the best place for the word of mouth advice is talktriggers.com. There's tons of free resources there. The book, as you mentioned, thanks Josh, is available all the ways and places that books can be procured. Amazon, of course, your local bookseller, Kindle, audiobook, etc. And you can also go to convinceandconvert.com, as you mentioned, which is our very large digital magazine, which has now 3,000 free articles for business owners and managers about digital marketing and customer experience.
Thank you, Jay. Love your work. Keep it up, and great to meet you.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Take care.
All right. I'm here with Navin and Sid of Locate AI. Hello, gentlemen.
How you doing, Josh? Nice to meet you, Josh. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Excellent. I'm glad you pronounced it Locate AI, not Locate Al, which sometimes happens.
Oh, I can see how that would happen. So tell me about Locate AI. What do you guys do?
Locate AI was started back in 2014. We are the only analytics company at this fine convention that have 3 Stanford data science co-founders. Our mission is to give retailers data to make decisions instead of having retailers rely on brokers and their gut instinct on how to make decisions. And that makes a lot of sense when you consider how much money goes into the CapEx cost of building out a new location.
So that was a nice way of saying you help them make good factual-based decisions based on real data instead of sometimes some BS.
Actually,
or wrong predictions or market trends or something that may be right but may not be right.
Right.
we actually were named one of the top 10 AI solution providers for 2019, so we're the real deal on that score.
Well, I love it because I know from myself being in the franchise space, working with emerging franchisors and multi-unit franchisees, that AI across the board is the talk of franchising and a lot of business, but it's also misunderstood, I think, and it's also at its infancy.
Yeah.
So specifically for the franchise space, when you talk about working with the retailers, you're talking about finding them data. Walk me through what that would look like so somebody who's listening to this can understand.
Sure. So our solutions are targeting both the franchisor and the franchisee. On the franchisor side, much like private equity, a lot of their interest is in understanding the white space. How many locations can I do in this market? How much revenue can I generate? So that's a pre-territory sale type conversation.
But that's a huge deal.
Huge deal.
I mean, you have to know where you have to know how big your market is in the geographic space to know how many franchises you can fit in there, right?
Exactly. So our mapping platform for the franchisor allows them in part to look and assign different territories based on criteria to different franchisees. They can notify us that a franchisee has purchased a territory, and that triggers the follow-up conversation where now we're dealing with the franchisee and a local broker there who's going to funnel sites into our system, which will then automatically populate certain criteria, certain data points that franchisee and or franchisor want to see in order
to help them select where they're going to go.
Correct, yes. And so
do you work with brokers on that, or do you work instead of brokers?
We are brokers as well as a data company. I joined in 2018 to launch Locate AI Services. That's the arm of our business that kind of meshes analytics and real estate. And why I say it meshes that, we're working with franchisors at no cost. Essentially, we get paid the same way master brokers have been paid in the past, only our value prop is, unlike you, I'm an attorney by trade. I've worked in real estate for nearly a decade. And in that capacity, I've been both a broker and run the real estate department at a restaurant chain in New York City. And so the value prop to a franchisor or franchisee is, hey, rather than just work with Bob the broker in Cincinnati, let's work with Locate AI. The franchisor is already working with them. You'll get partnered with someone like Navin or my two colleagues, Justin and Jeremy, who all have principal real estate experience, and they will help you interpret the data that the system provides and negotiate a deal that's really beneficial for you. And the difference is we're motivated to do 100 or 1,000 deals with the franchisor, whereas a local broker working with one franchisee may be incentivized to do a quick deal and cash a quick check. And that's
so you do it all over the country.
Yeah, we're working nationally. We have 45 clients working with us in some exclusive form or another, meaning they're working with us in some cities or across the entire country. And so we have brokers across the country that we work with, and sometimes we work with national brokers that just cover the whole country themselves. It really depends on what the client wants.
Now, so you alluded to this at the start, but Locate AI probably at this point doesn't have a tremendous amount of direct competitors, but I'm sure that's growing as the technologies change. What is the biggest differentiator for you guys to separate yourself and differentiate yourself for who you consider to be your competition?
Sure, and I'm going to let Sid answer an important part of this question because he's been with Buxton and
I've been in
the
space for 20 years, so I get it. So the other guys that are out there, most of them, they build predictive models the old-fashioned way. So a typical regression model where a statistician or somebody sits down and starts testing data to look for correlations against sales. What we do in using AI is we're teaching the machine to think like an analyst, and not just any analyst, but an analyst for that brand. And with that, we have over 174,000 attributes in our database. We can look at all of them against the company's sales and any other data they give us, and we can look at it in every block group in the United States. That's 217,000 block groups.
That's incredible.
And so they're going to run maybe 4,000 or 5,000 iterations, we're going to run millions and millions and millions of iterations. We're going to exhaust all the what-if scenarios to determine what key attributes drive that brand. The other thing about that is that because we're using it, we can go deeper, so we can do more with less. If you go to anybody else, any of those traditional guys, they're going to tell you, we just had someone here say, hey, they won't build a predictive model for me until I have 50 locations. Well, because we're using AI, we're able to do that when they only have like 20 locations. So we can go, we're more accurate, we'll do it in half the time that they'll do it from an analytics standpoint. And as Navin just pointed out, our costs are, our business model is very different from theirs.
Go ahead. No, what I was going to say is, as opposed to linear regression models where they're saying these are your 8 to 10 variables that drive your sales, to Sid's point, these machine learning AI models are using multivariate regression models, modeling. So it might be a bucket of 30 to 50 variables that when run together will provide you a more accurate model. And how we've then decided to build our business model is to tie it into the brokerage side. So instead of having to get a username and password and pull data yourself or have your franchisees do that, we're white glove servicing that to you so that you don't have the bandwidth tied up in analyzing those sites and you have a consistent, objective viewpoint every deal, everywhere across the country.
You alluded to this, Sid, a minute ago, but who is your ideal franchisor client?
For us, it's anybody whether it's for any franchisor that looking for explosive growth. We don't care whether they've got 4 or 5 or 10 or 15 or 150. The break point for us, we've developed tools for those companies that have less than 20 units, but we also use those tools to help clarify what the selection should be on the over 20. On over 20, we can build a reliable, predictive model. And
because you have to have some in the database to build the model.
Yeah, no matter who's building the model, all models, whether it's any kind of model, they're all based on historical performance. The difference is that we can do more with less, again, and to give them a better handle on what they should be picking. And then with Navin and Justin and Jeremy, they kind of bring home, meld that art with that science with the art. So, reality is, I don't care whose model, no matter who's us, anybody, it's never going to be 100% accurate. It's just not going to be there. We take a very strict approach to how we look at accuracy, which is, again, a little bit different, I think, than the other guys that are out there, in that we tend to measure accuracy against the holdout set that we do when we build that model, and we quote that accuracy, because the best. Otherwise, if you just go back and just score all your sites, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you get a lot of people out there saying, "Well, yeah, we only ours is only a 10% error rate or a 5% error rate." Well, the reality is, if they test it against the holdout set, and give that accuracy, which call it a generalization error, these are holdouts that the model has never seen, which is what in real life that's what you're going to be looking at. So that's really.
Well, I like it because it's so hard in franchising. Even when I talk to my clients about identifying their markets, how many they can fit in the market, what's the next 5, 10, 15 that they want to open. And of course, it's always based on, oh, well, this one here did well, so let me go find a location that's exactly like this one. But there's a lot of things that go into a location more than just, that it just happens to be this one thing.
It could be a farmer's market down the street. If you don't know the market intimately and you pick another location that's everything the same except there isn't a weekly farmer's market, maybe you won't perform.
You've got the wrong
location. And I think one thing we didn't mention yet is because we're using machine learning, artificial intelligence to build the models, we're not tying up an analyst for 8 to 12 weeks on one single project, which means we can update the model as often as quarterly. And we don't charge for that because we want the data to be the most fresh. And when you think about optimal size, you asked that question earlier, I think the real focus should be someone who's got between 50 and 150 locations, because they're going to have a really good geographically diverse sample, meaning the model should be better at differentiating between good and bad sites versus someone who has 10 locations in one city, in Chicago. And so when you think about that type of retailer, because they've got 50 to 150 locations, likely has the operations team to support rapid growth and the sample size to support intelligent growth. And so I think that's where we really excel, and we can take that person from the 150 they have using the white space analysis we talked about to 1,500 if that's the kind of franchisor.
Well, this is super interesting. If somebody wants to learn more or get in touch with you, where should they go?
hello@locate.ai is our email, and if you wanted to check out our website, it's www.locate.ai.
Thank you guys, Navin, Sid. It was a pleasure. You guys got a great business, and I wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate that.
So I'm here with the folks from LSM Digital Marketing Agency. Okay, so I've got Lauren, I want to get your names right, Courtney, and Mehmet. And then we've got our guest here, Andrew Blyman from Marks & Klein in Chicago, so we'll give him a little bit of a plug too. But we want to focus on Digital LSM Marketing Agency. What do you guys do? Who wants to give it a first shot?
Yeah, so we basically help franchises get their businesses online to show up and to drive revenue or leads. So that is a full set of between SEO, so helping you guys rank higher on Google, to online ads. So we actually work with Mehmet here over at Google to run ads on Google, to also run ads on Facebook, Instagram, programmatic, everything to basically get you ranked and help you reach your goal.
So, Mehmet, Google. How does Google work with LSM or with other digital marketing agencies to help in that effort?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a special model in our agency program, and LSM is one of our premier agencies. So what we do, we work closely with them, and we make sure that they understand what Google is bringing to the market in terms of new solutions that is best for their clients. And we educate them, we train them. We also have three-way meetings with our clients, which are our extended clients, and make sure that they use Google solutions the best way possible.
Courtney, you haven't spoken yet, but you're from Indiana,
Yes.
even though you barely claim it. You claim Wisconsin. So what do you do for LSM?
So I'm the digital paid media manager. So our ads department is ran out of a Denver office, actually. So we have our Nashville office and our Denver office. But Denver just runs all of our advertisement platforms. So we Google, Facebook, programmatic, any of the big major advertising platforms. We try to be on them. So I run that department.
All right, so here's the last question, but it's a doozy. There's lots of social media, marketing, digital companies out there. What makes you guys stand out from the competition? Who wants to start?
I'll take it. I get asked this every day, right? And it's not necessarily results that make any marketing agency stand out. I think a lot of it has to do with personality, who you get along with, who has the same business goals as you, who understands your vision and helps you meet that.
Courtney, what do you think?
I mean, I agree with Lauren 100%. I also think our relationships with our vendors kind of make us separated from our competition. We have reps with Google, we have reps with Facebook, all of our Yelp, major platforms that we're on, we have relationships, and that gives us an advantage to be continually in conversation with them on best practices, strategies, what's working, what's not working. So I think that's something internally that we have a step up from our competition.
Now, Mehmet, from Google's perspective, here's what everybody wants to know. What makes them as a business, as a franchise, as a franchisor, franchisee, stick out best on Google?
I think Google has many quality partners, but in terms of why we like to work with LSM is how much they're invested in learning about Google solutions and how much of a family culture they built inside the agency. We don't see it in every single agency we work with. Some of them are laid back or they're not fully invested in what we have to say. So LSM does a great job of quickly adopting changes and making sure it reaches to their clients.
So if anybody wants to learn more about LSM, where should they go?
So our website's lsm.works. A little different than the usual, but lsm.works. You'll find all the information. And, yeah, we are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of them.
Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Chase Nichol of Lucid Press. How you doing, Chase?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So tell me about Lucid Press.
Yeah, so we're a brand templating and content creation platform that helps franchisors keep their marketing collateral on brand and make a more scalable solution for the franchisees. So
break that down for me.
Yes,
that was a fully loaded
right.
mouthful. Break that down for me.
Essentially, what occurs at a franchisor level is that as you grow and scale, let's say you have 100 locations, all your franchisees need localized collateral that's on brand that needs to represent the franchise well, but also get the message across to their local market. In order to do that, either the franchise
like swag, is it that kind of stuff, or is it?
No, it's more on the print, digital, social side. So all their flyers or posters, to their digital ads, to their social posts, anything in between. But essentially what it allows them to do is the franchisee can come into a centralized platform of Lucid Press. They find on-brand marketing material that's built by the corporate design team or creative team. That corporate creative team can bring that content in from like Adobe InDesign, so they can build it in a professional environment. They then lock down certain elements like logos or fonts, colors, textiles, etc. That way, as the franchisee, when I come in, I'm accessing professional content. I can make easy edits in more of a drag and drop environment.
I like that.
Right? Make it easier, right? But then at the same time, I'm not wrecking the brand. I'm not changing the colors to neon pink or Comic Sans on the font, or really doing something that's not going to represent the franchise well. I then can take that content and easily distribute it out through print or digital solutions.
So there are obviously other people in this space who do the same thing. What differentiates Lucid Press from the competition?
Yeah, so you could compare us. I mean, a household name that a lot of people know is like a Canva, right? Canva is more kind of built to help create easy content. Where we differentiate is really kind of in the administrative control, where now the franchisor can really lock down and hone in the brand at the same time as giving scalable design out to their franchisees. So
that sounds awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. If somebody wants to learn more about Lucid Press, where can they go to find out more information?
lucidpress.com, or they can email me directly at cnichol@lucidpress.com.
So I'm here with Michael Smith, Director of Regional Sales for Scorpion. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing very well. Josh, how are you?
Doing great. So what's Scorpion?
So Scorpion is a full-service digital marketing company. We work with a handful of franchise brands, and we really service them in 4 different ways online, starting with a brand strategy, and then we build and develop a brand new website, the national brand. Every location kind of rolls up under that, so we manage everything from local SEO, paid advertising, reputation management, all of your local listings. We're really a one-stop shop digital marketing partner for the brands that we work with. So what that does is it eliminates what we like to call vendor bloat. When you're using 3 or 4 or 5 different vendors for all these different aspects of your online marketing, we take all of that away. We manage it all from one central platform so that our brands aren't having to connect all of the different marketing dots to make sense of what's going on, what's working, is my investment working. So we eliminate all of that, and then we provide the full service for them.
Wow. How long have you guys been around?
Been around for 19 years, but we've been in the franchising space for 5.
5 years. So if, there's other companies that are your competitors that do similar things, what separates Scorpion from the competition?
It's a good question. So I would say by and far, it's our technology. We have machine learning technology unlike anybody else's. Essentially what we're able to do is we can put together our campaigns, and then our technology learns everything that is driving the highest performance channels, and our technology essentially starts shifting budgets based on the channels that are driving the highest revenue. So technology is a big piece of it.
Well, that's huge. I mean, because let's talk about that for a second. I mean, as a franchisor, they want to know a lot of things about the franchisees, the localized markets that they're in, all those sort of things, and where they need to go. So you, through your technology, you highlight those areas and highlight the stuff that works, doesn't work, and they can better, target their own customers and franchisees.
Well, that's correct. They can, but really it's up to Scorpion. That's why a brand hires Scorpion, because we provide them with a team of marketing strategists. So we're actually doing all of that on their behalf. Now they have access to a dashboard that gives them full transparency and a direct line of insight into all of those channels that are driving revenue. all of the data and analytics that a brand could want. Of course, a franchisee can see for their specific location. A franchisor can see everything from a national level, and they can drill down to a region or a specific location.
So who's your ideal franchisor client? Describe them to me. Who is it? What size? I know you'll probably work with a lot of different people. I know that. But who's the ideal person for Scorpion?
So I would say, that there's not just one single ideal person. I'd say right now, though, we're really targeting a lot of health and fitness brands. Just because there's a lot of kind of gap there, and we're trying to close the ROI for them through integrations with online scheduling platforms. So I'd say for right now, that's kind of a big target for us.
Now, Michael, if somebody wants to learn more about Scorpion, where do they go?
They go to scorpionfranchise.com, or they can email me at michael.smith@scorpion.co.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing a few minutes with me, telling me about Scorpion, and best of luck to you in the future.
Thanks so much, Josh. It was great to meet you.
All right, I'm here with Scott, and now I'm going to butcher this, McKinnonly?
It's not the worst rendition
Okay,
I've
what
heard
is-
before.
what is-
McKinnonly.
McKinnonly. This is close.
You just go with the title. Is it on it? Oh, it's not. My official
Ma-
title is Captain America, and that's a better way
Captain
to do it.
America.
Yeah.
I like that,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You're VP of Brand Success for World Manager.
Correct.
What do you guys do?
We offer an all-in-one training platform for the franchise industry. So brands are joining up with us because they see the need to be able to communicate with and train their frontline staff. So beyond just the franchisee-franchisor relationship, they want to go all the way down to the staff that greets the guest every day, that sells the product, that has to put on the uniform every day.
So when you say an all-in-one sort of training program,
Yep.
is that for franchisors to also train their franchisees, or
Yeah.
is it for the end user customer?
All the above.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. So we...
How do you do that? Walk me through if I'm a restaurant franchisor and I'm coming to you because I want to be able to better train my franchisees, but in turn, I want a better training protocol for the franchisees' employees as well who are working with the end customers.
Yeah, for sure. So, most of the time, the brands that we've worked with have a really structured training process for new franchisees, but it typically takes place over the course of a first month or so of them being indoctrinated into the brand or the concept. And then it's kind of over, and now they're sort of out there, and the cord has been cut, so to speak, and they're out there going after it. So what we do is create this learning environment, this ecosystem that the franchisees can actually log back into regularly.
So it's online, it's digital.
It's online, it's mobile, so free mobile app.
And you can it's updated regularly.
Yep, updated constantly. So, and it's not just training, it's also communication down from the top. So they can send out notices, newsletters, videos from the CEO and the founders of the company to really drive, one, a culture of learning, and then two, just culture in general. So a lot of the brands that use our platform with a great deal of success are those that have a really defined culture, because our whole thing is very visual. It's totally custom branded, so they can throw all that stuff in
so
there.
it's
all
custom
the time.
to the actual franchise.
Yep,
That's
every time.
awesome.
Yep, custom branded, custom named, custom app, all that.
I love that. How long have you guys been around?
I started in 2005.
2005.
So we've been around 14 years now. About to be 15 in September.
That's fantastic. If somebody wants to learn more about World Manager or get in touch with you, what's a good place to do that?
Super easy, worldmanager.com.
Worldmanager.com. Thank you, Scott,
Yeah,
for sharing
appreciate
with
it.
me. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Franchise Euphoria. If you enjoyed this episode or have enjoyed the podcast in general, I would really appreciate it if you could go to iTunes and leave me a rating and review. It really helps to get this podcast out to more and more people. So the easy way to do it is go to iTunes and in the search box, put in Franchise Euphoria. You will then see my cover art, and you click on my smiling face that says Franchise Euphoria, and then click on the link that says ratings and reviews. It's that simple, but boy, oh boy, does it mean the world to me when people leave ratings and reviews. And like I said, it really helps get the show out there. Once again, would love it if you would go to iTunes and leave a rating and review if you enjoyed this episode or other episodes of the show. And until the next time, happy franchising.